Look at that sunrise. It's gonna be a scorcher though, guys, and guess what? Things are changing. So I'm out getting my bike ride this morning, trying to get my exercise. And it looks like the faucet's getting ready to turn off. Let's check our crops back here on the back acre. Our cantaloupe. Starting to see some little melons form and some bigger ones. Yeah. Now we've not been getting any rain. We were expecting a lot this weekend, but that tropical storm turned. And so now things are drying up out here, as you can see. But Greg's got these irrigated, thank goodness. And yeah, I'm seeing little melons everywhere. So the question is, will we or won't we? We'll be finding out. We're asking the Lord to bless this back acre to give us some cantaloupes and some watermelons and pumpkins this year. The row of pumpkins look pretty good. This morning I got a pound of our sausage from that meat producer here locally. I got a dozen eggs from the hen and some onions and bell peppers from the garden. Add a little bit of rendered fat here so I can saute my onions and my bell peppers. Go ahead and add my eggs while I'm letting my sausage drain. Added my sausage back in. And don't worry guys, I'm fixing to get to the point of my video here, but I wanted to show you how we make our delicious breakfast burritos. A nice little breakfast burrito with our salsa. We've already eaten 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's enough in here for probably 4 more, so that's 12. Pop them in the freezer. So the only thing I paid for was the sausage and the tortillas. So we made probably about, because I know those breakfast burritos sell for about $2.99 regardless of where you go, maybe a little more depending on your restaurant. So we made probably about $35, maybe even $40 worth of food for about $8. That's how we're going to end up having to do what we need to do, guys, to survive. So we've started bartering or swapping, you might say, with some of our garden veggies. So that rendered lard that you saw, I got quite a few jars of that from another farm here in Texas, one of our community members, for about 12 to 13 pounds of tomatoes. And we've got 5 jars of that I'm going to pop in the freezer. And let's see, we've bartered for some peaches. And yeah, so that's what we're starting to do to make sure that we have a little bit of everything that we might want and to save us some money and to keep us from going out to eat. Now, as our veggies come to fruition, especially those bell peppers, we will freeze dry them or we will dehydrate them. We may powder them. So learning to preserve what you have is going to become more and more important, whether you dehydrate, freeze dry, freeze, or can. With our over-ripened tomatoes that we have, I'll either make salsa out of them or I'll blanch and freeze them, or I'm thinking about putting some in the freeze dryer to make more of that delicious tomato powder, which turned out fantastic because even that would go good in those ranchero eggs. You could add you some tomatoes, you could add you some jalapenos. You can expand this recipe with whatever you want. You can add cheese, you can add mushrooms, anything you want to stretch a dozen eggs and a pound of sausage. I ran up to our little grocery store yesterday. I only needed a couple of things, and that's why I didn't go to like Kroger or somewhere like that, but I was totally shocked. A gallon of milk was over $5. A bag of chips was $4.50. See, what else did I get? I didn't get much. Greg loves popcorn, so I got him some popcorn. That was like $4. Honestly, I don't see an end to this. I think that the baseline's already set, and I think it's going to continue to rise, and I think it's very important that you guys start growing your own food and learning to preserve it. So that brings to mind that we're coming up on fall planting. Now I did plant some more green beans. You still have time to put some green beans in the ground and some squash. Now our rain is shutting off. We don't have, I think we have like a 10% chance today, but I'm not really looking for it or counting on it. And then we are ramping back up, guys, into the upper 90s, and our nighttime temperatures are 78 and above now. That means that our tomatoes are going to stop producing flowers. So those are going to be going by the wayside here very, very soon. And so if you feel like you're too hot to put some squash and zucchini or green beans in the ground, wait until maybe September. Count back to 60 days, especially for like your green beans, your bush beans, to your first freeze, and that's when you want to do it. So after these, I'll go ahead and let the garden rest, and then I'll go ahead and put some more green beans in the ground. Brings to mind this, is Greg has already started our tomato seeds for our fall planting, and they're coming up. They're still in the little seed pods. We are not ready to transplant them into the 3-inch pots, but when these back here, and you can see they're looking pretty ragged, come up, we're going to go ahead, and he's got to get his soil in shape because we do living soil. And then we'll put those babies in the ground, and we've got to keep them alive until they start producing, maybe end of September, 1st of October, and maybe we'll get about 6 weeks of tomatoes in the fall. Another thing I'm getting ready to start for all of you, because you asked me to let you know, is my onions. I've got to clean out that baby tub, and I'm going to start my onion seeds for my fall onion planting, my fall onion set planting. Because we think that we can keep them fine just through the winter, and then in the springtime we will have fresh onions. So when we bought that meat from Liberty Veterans Ranch, it was part of our savings. We did take money out of savings, but guess what? We have 3 freezer fulls, 3 freezer full of meats, and I'll probably can up some of those. I also have about 17 pounds of venison I need to can up for Pop that he and I ran down to Meridian and picked up at a deal. So you need to start looking for the deals. You need to start trying to find people maybe that will barter with you and trade with you. We're being pretty successful with it, and it's really, really helping us and saving us some money. That brings to mind your medicinal herbs. So this is the marshmallow, guys, that we got going on, and it is looking fantastic. So we can go ahead and take the leaves and the flowers and freeze dry it now, but you want to leave the roots in the ground at least 2 years. And so what we'll do is when it starts to get cold, which is going to be a while, is we'll cut it down at the ground and then let it come back. But you can see I've got a beautiful batch of marshmallow root, or marshmallow plant and root. Sweet potatoes are doing great in these Vigo gardens. You can see they are just prospering, and I can't wait to see what we get in here. But looky here, I'm not sure what that is, but we better be finding out. And this is another medicinal. This is feverfew. So these should start budding out even more by mid-July, and we will freeze dry this. You can go ahead and eat the leaves or freeze dry them and use them in a tea now, but I'm going to go ahead and wait till more flowers come about. This is for anti-inflammatory. A lot of people use this for migraines. We have some lemon balm. We have also a bee balm. We have some oregano. These are some of my trellising beans. So I'm continuing to be able to pick and make us a pot. Ooh, yeah. And then we have our culinary herbs. This is going to be very important in our coming times, to be sure to flavor up your food, your tomato sauces, make you some pesto, make you a caprese salad. Holy basil, which is also brilliant for sleep and anxiety. Thai basil, which is your Asian, for your Asian flair, your stir fries. All your basils have a certain amount, guys, of medicinal qualities that you want to take advantage of. Horseradish root, this is brilliant. Opal basil. And we got some eggplant coming in. Sage, which is also a medicinal. And I don't know if you know this, guys, but your herbs are very expensive. If you go buy herbs around the holidays in the little containers, you're paying primo price, and you're not getting the flavor and the benefits from it. So learn to grow your own herbs. Rosemary's just looking fantabulous. Oh, I just love rosemary, especially with like a pork roast or even with steak. We got some thyme, some more oregano, more rosemary, mint. Lots of people love mint in their tea or in their water. You could even mix it with your holy basil. If you freeze dry your holy basil, mix a little bit of mint in it to give you a good minty, healthy tea. Here's our tomato starch, and Greg has even gone in and clipped some of the tops off to see if he can get some of them to root on the ones we have. Oh, there's a nice breeze coming up from the southeast. I'm sure it's from that tropical depression down there, that tropical storm that's going on. But I think this is going to be the last day of it, guys. I think we're going to ramp up, and the heat is on. I hope we don't dry out. The Old Farmer's Almanac says that we're going to have a hot, wet summer. That remains to be seen, because we're losing our rain chances quickly as we move into summer, which I think is first date tomorrow. The summer equinox, a lot of people say today, but I've always considered it to be June the 21st. That's also going to be the longest day of the year, which I'm glad. Now we should start going back, headed back down into the fall, so it'll start getting darker sooner. I really have never been a fan of it being daylight at 9 o'clock at night. So now's not a time to be a spectator, my friends. If you have a little spot you can garden, if you have a spot where you can put a couple of chickens in your yard, we feed them out of the garden. We do buy them laying pellets as well, but we feed them out of the garden to try to hedge off some of that. And right now, if you're not growing a garden, go buy, or I would suggest you go buy the vegetables that are in season, because they're cheap now. And they won't be as the season goes on, and can up what you can. Find you a good source of green beans, find you a good source of corn, and start canning, guys, and putting stuff in your pantry, because I don't see inflation coming down. I just don't. It is getting impossible for people to buy homes. I was speaking with one of our community members yesterday via Messenger, and she has some friends that are homeless. They are unable to find any help. It's just, I don't see how people are gonna make it. Although our property is paid for, we are one tax payment away from it being auctioned. So we always have to make sure we have money on hand to pay our property taxes every year. And we have a vote coming up here in Texas, guys, in November. So you keep that in mind and you vote for those who want to get rid of our property taxes. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to making sure and giving you some ideas to start putting things in your pantry. Find meat on sale, can it up if you can, or put it in your freezer. Find vegetables right now that are in season and can them up, dehydrate them, freeze dry them, whatever it is you buy, try to preserve it. Make sure that you have ways of preserving. If you don't know how to can, we've got lots of canning videos out on the channel. Go check them out. It's super easy. I know it was very intimidating to me the very first time I did it, but after that, I didn't even blink an eye, and you shouldn't either. Get you a good food dehydrator or get you a freeze dryer. I'll put some links down below if you're interested. We've been using the Harvest Right for several years now. I know many of you already have one and you're doing it, but these are all great ways to conserve and reserve your food and make sure you can stock your pantry. So that's about all I'm going to say today about how we're feeding ourselves in different times. Hopefully it gives you some ideas, because that's what we're all about. Teaching you how to grow or preserve, and giving you some ideas with what you do grow and preserve. But we love you all. Greg's mom is struggling. It will be 91 next month, and you know, she had COVID this year, and she's just really not bounced back from that, and she is on hospice, and so we ask that you pray for her and pray for Greg's sister, who is her main caretaker. Just keep us in your prayers and keep Greg in your prayers. We love you, and we will be in contact more this weekend with some of the things that are going on. See you soon. And if you're new to our channel, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button.